and you can rewatch them, or you can always go back and rewatch the videos as you need to. Usually I will have them on Canvas by probably the end of the day for the most part. Okay? When you see the little timer and the red dot, it means it's recording, that's all. But you can still ask questions and do all the things. Okay? Alright, so we're gonna start, and you can keep getting ready, just lend me an ear. We're gonna start by confirming that you have everything you need. You have your smock on, you have your journal from yesterday, and whatever you don't have, grab it as you go. You have a purple principal's task card. You have a cup with a little bit of water. You literally just need little. You have your painting palettes, your face painting palette. You have a napkin. Your napkin, you can fold it into a rectangle. You're going to fold it once, and you're going to fold it a second time. That gives you 4 layers before the water goes through, which these are cheap napkins, so you know it's going to go through anyway. And then you have your 4 basic brushes, which are the pink ones. Whatever you don't have, whatever you need, feel free to grab and go get as you see fit. Okay? As you're finishing setting up, okay, this week I am modeling the attire, the dress code that you are able to wear. So yesterday was all black with the smock, okay. Today is a shade of purple scrubs, and tomorrow and the following days will continue so that you, as you see throughout the weekend, okay, I can wear that, I can wear that, I can wear that. So you can manage from there, okay. Principles of Cosmetology is the course that you are currently in. You have to make sure that you complete this task card by the end of the school year. Okay? On the front, or there's not really a front or back, but on one of these sides, I'm going to start where it has the chapter bookwork. Go ahead and put your name on the card. So that should it get lost, we know it's yours. As you do these things, I am going to mark them with a stamp. Used to be my signature, but now it's going to be a stamp. Okay? You do the task, you bring me your task card, you get your stamp. You do the task, you go home, come back the next day, say, Miss, I did it. Sorry, I can't stamp it. Okay? The stamp has to be given or gotten or received or whatever that same day. Okay, so let's look at the front. I'm not going to go through it in detail, square by square, because we're going to do so as we go through the year. Okay, so just right now, just to touch on a few things. The chapters that we're going to cover this school year are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 22, and 23. When you complete those chapters, that bookwork, vocabulary, and questions, you are going to turn in your task card with that work, and I'm going to grade your work, and I'm going to stamp your card. This is a checkpoint. The state of Texas will know that you've done the things that are listed in the TEKS, so that way you are eligible to get your hours and your license and credits and all the things. Okay? So at the end of the school year, when all of these are completed, yes, you have completed the course. If you don't complete these, you didn't complete the course. Make sense? Your certificate you're going to receive at the end of the school year in May for this, okay? The middle one is a freebie, but when we do Career Navigator and a headshot photo shoot, you're going to get your picture, and you're going to put your picture on your portfolio resume, and we're going to print that. When you turn that in, I'm going to stamp it. When we do salon days, you work the reception counter for an hour, you work the dispensary or as a salon assistant, you get your stamp, okay? But you have to grab your stamp that day, or after you do that service or that task. Okay. Projects also, as you complete those, you're going to get your stamp. Let's turn it over to the opposite side. Here you have your services. These are some, not all. You learn so much, but these are some of the services that you're going to learn. These are some of the most popular salon services that are requested. So, when we have salon days or salon day events. Sometimes it's during class, sometimes it's after school, sometimes it just depends. And you do one of these, not all at the same time or not all on the same day, but when you do this on a client, you'll bring me your card with your client and say, this is what I did. I did a scalp massage, and I'll stamp your card. Done. Check. Move on. Okay? You can do 20 scalp massages, but you only get one stamp for one. Okay? I've got to make sure that you know how to do these things before you leave me. Okay? Cool? They can be done on each other. They can be done on, not mannequins, okay? They can be done on clients, family, friends, other students that come for those designated times. The due date I do not have because I do not know the due date just yet, because whenever I turned in when I printed this, we don't have the confirmation of salon approval dates yet. When I get it, then we can organize all this and I'll tell you the due date. But it's in May, okay? Put that off to the side. You can keep that in your folder or your backpack. It has holes, so the middle of your folder probably would be best. Binder, not so much, because it's so much to get in and out of your binder as you have been experiencing this week, okay? All right, let's review from yesterday. So yesterday we went through very quickly. 7th period was like, wait, and kind of freaking out a little bit. I was like, okay, maybe I spit this out too fast, and I always do, so I apologize. So let's just back up for a second. Within the 2 weeks, you are going to create a face painting business name. So yesterday you went home and you started thinking, what do I want my name to be? You need to have that name by tomorrow. When you come in, you should know your business name. That's the name you're going to use, okay? Then you need to by tomorrow have your business theme. Rainbows, princesses, superheroes, purple, whatever your theme is. Have that ready for tomorrow. Your logo you're going to draw. Okay, so have an idea of what you want that logo to look like or be like. You can't have a logo if you don't know your business name or your theme. Okay. Your social media page you're going to do, but you can't do that one until you have your logo, until you have your theme, until you have your business name. So it kind of is an order thing, okay? So we'll make that with time. We're not going to be able to make it in school because of the phone thing, so we're just going to assign it, and then that's a homework thing. The business card you can't make until you have all this. We're going to do that one in class together, so don't panic, okay? And your design board you can't do until you learn how to face paint, so that is going to be assigned at the end of the 2 weeks because your whole project is September 5th when it should be due, okay? So maybe I spit that out really fast yesterday and didn't properly explain, and I apologize, but don't panic and overwhelm yourself. We're going to, the step-by-step, we're going to do together, okay? Whatever we do together, if there's something that you need to take home, it'll be for homework, but for the most part, we'll have a good chunk here in class to do, besides learning techniques. This is just pages where you can take notes should you like. Does anyone have any questions about the project or we've talked about thus far? Okay. All right. Does not matter if you're doing lashes, brows, facials, highlighting, hair cutting, hair color. It doesn't matter. Okay. When you buy a new tool and or when you have a new product, you need to sit down and have a date with this or these things. A date is when you set time aside to get to know something, to do something together, right? So you've got to be able to know, what does this brush do? How is it built? How does it feel? How does it do best in my hand? What do the bristles feel like? What kind of line is it going to do? If I push it a lot, what's the wingspan? If I barely push it, if I turn it this way, what does it do? You've got to, that's your date. Now that's all the things you've got to make sure to accomplish within the time of you and that thing that you have new. Because, and I did it last class period already, I shouldn't have, but let's say I got these yesterday on Amazon. And I'm at a birthday party and I'm like, oh, here's my first one and I'm ready to go. And little boy sits and his mom is right there and the dad's over there and it's ready and I'm ready and let's paint. And he wants Batman. Go get. So I got my little brush, really cute, and I got my cute little looking paints, and I'm going to go ahead and it's not working. right? I mean, it's not what I do. So I start to panic. I'm like, what do I do? And then the mom's looking like, the little kid's crying. The dad's like, let's go, you know. And so then you start to panic. So you're looking really not cute, freaking out because you don't know how your stuff works. So you've got to learn how the things work. And that's what we're going to do today, okay? We're going to go, so that I don't bore you to death, we're going to go between the notes and the tools and products, okay? So we're going to talk today about product knowledge. Product knowledge is something that is super important. You have to know regardless of what product you're using, and that's tools as well. Again, I'm not going to read you everything because you can read, but this is just an overview. There is so much more. This is just some. So with face paints, there are water-based, meaning that you need water to activate them, which that's what these are. These are water-based. There are cream-based. There are metallic and neon, and then you have the glitters and the accessories. So the ones that you have on your table, that's water-based. You need water to activate them, which is why we have the water. Then you have these that are cream-based. This one, my niece got into. Right, and so these, for example, this one, nothing happens. This one, it picks it up immediately, right? This is like your foundation or like lipstick. It immediately picks up that product. This is cream-based, like a lotion. You are then going to have some products like this one. And this is something that from The Walking Dead, you guys maybe seen the TV show. Okay. This is alcohol activated, so you need to use alcohol, spray alcohol on the product for it to actually start working. If not, water doesn't do anything. Okay. And the reason why alcohol is a thing is because if an actor is sweating, right, the makeup smears. So alcohol will be something that will make the product move, and that way it lasts a long time. The other thing that you have with the cream is going to be in the little containers, kind of like lotion or foundation or primer type products. And then you're going to have your neons. These are the ones that you are going to do your photo shoot with, okay, on the 29th. Remind me to tell you all about your photo shoot, your headshots. Don't forget, on the same day, okay? Now, although you have different kinds of products, okay? It's super important to understand that there are some that are not good, okay? You've got to make sure that your products are non-toxic and hypoallergenic. So ask your clients, are you allergic to anything? Okay? You have to, if it's FDA approved, it's best, okay? Because the ingredients in the product makes a huge difference, especially if you're putting it on the skin. And you want a huge color variation, because then you have more options. Now, when you are using your products, super important to know the brands. There's different kinds of brands. Snazaroo is kind of like, you know, good, but you can find it at Walmart, Hobby Lobby. Not professional, but it's good. You go on the Michaels app and you go to Michaels on Sunday, they have 20 or 40% off of a product, and so you can use your discount, okay? Maron is like up there, okay? It's a professional brand. It's a bit more expensive, but it's good quality. They use it in cinema, Hollywood. And then Tag, that's bougie, okay? Very good product. Now, there are some palettes. For example, this one, you would think, oh yes, you can use, this is makeup. You can use this on the skin. No, this is not for the skin. It is, yes, makeup, but not to be applied on the skin. What these are used for are to make, and then the book going down the middle, which is one of my favorite books, but to make something like this for you to practice with. This is watercolor paper, and then you do your makeup design or makeup look or your design page or design board with palettes like this. Yes, makeup, not good for the skin. So I don't waste my expensive $60 foundation on paper. Does that make sense? So there's lots of different products out there. Know what you're buying. Know what you're putting on the face. And don't put it on the face if you are not supposed to. Okay. Big no-no. All right, so let's look. We're going to flip this over to our notes side. Okay, we have a cup, and the cup has water about to right here. There's not much because you don't need a lot. We have our brushes. The first thing we're going to do, now careful because so don't get your paper wet. We're going to go ahead and take our brush, and mine is soft because I've already done it, but yours is hard. Like you're like, oh man, that's not a good brush. The manufacturer, when they make it for transportation to not ruin the bristles so it looks nice when you want to buy it and when you get it, they put gel or mousse at the tip end of the bristles so it's nice and hard and they stay together and they don't fray. We've got to break that up. So we're going to take our napkin, we're going to take our brush, and we're just going to take the heel of the brush, put it down on the napkin, and we're going to lift our handle, and we're just going to break it up. Flip it around like a tortilla, and then do the other side. Just wiggle it. You don't want to do this. You don't want to do that. You don't want to fray. It's like someone coming with their hand on your hair and going like that's not okay. Okay? You're going to do that on all of your bristles, and you're just going to try to break up the gel as much as you can. Okay? Now, a lot of times you'll see like the gel, it's kind of when you have gel in your hair, it kind of like poofs out a little bit and there's like flakes everywhere. That's okay. You're then going to take your cup. You're going to take your brush. Now, you should not dip the brush all the way in the cup, nor should you leave the brush in the cup. The reason why we have a little bit of water is because if you accidentally do so, the water should not go past the metal ferrule. This part right here between the metal and the wood, if the water goes past there, water goes inside, the inside gets wet, it's wood, it rots. And depending on how dirty the water is, when you're doing sweat and kids are playing the bounce house and all the stuff, right? Bacteria is in there, bacteria goes in there, it stays there overnight, and then it stinks, then your brushes stink. And then the bacteria, because this is a straw, it's just squished, then the bacteria goes up into the bristles, and then you're swiping bacteria on someone's face. Not good, okay? So, a little bit of water. And we don't ever jam it to the bottom. And the only part that needs to get wet is the bristle. My water rarely gets past the middle of the ferrule, okay? So, I need to get rid of the gel. I'm going to take my brush and my cup. I'm going to dip my entire bristle. And I'm just going to let it soak for a second. And I'm going to push my brush against the inside wall of the cup. I flip it over like a tortilla, and then I'm going to do the other side. And what I'm doing is I'm rinsing. Just kind of like if you have conditioner in your hair, you just want to rinse it. It's not dirty, it's just a little bit. And then I'm going to tap it on the inside wall of the cup to get rid of excess water. And then I'm going to wipe it on the inside corner of the neck of the cup. The edge of the cup. That's it. You're going to do that to all 4 brushes. You're going to take your napkin and you're going to tap the brush on the napkin, fold the napkin, hold it horizontal, fold it like so, and gently wipe downwards. Now you don't want to do this, not okay. You want to brush so that the bristles stay nice, flat together and smooth. If you're doing eyeliner and you jam the brush like that, you're not going to get a clean line. You're just not. Okay? So this is how you handle your brushes. Mine is colored because I used them last class period, but you're going to do that to all 4 brushes. Okay? We're going to go through the anatomy of your brushes in just a little bit, but before then we're going to learn how your palettes work. We're going to use yellow and orange. Now on your palette, these do come out, so if they wiggle, don't worry, they do come out. And these are called split cakes. Sounds yummy, I know. It's different colors in one square. Then you're going to have the solid colors, which the only ones you have are your black and your white. You have a split cake that has multiple, like your rainbow, and then you have the dual, the trio, Okay, that's 2 or 3 and so forth and so on. We're going to take the brush that is the 2 brushes that are flat and the 2 brushes that are rounded, and we're going to take a look at the difference of the ferrule. The ferrule, the metal part, on the 2 flat brushes, the reason why the brushes are flat is because they took pliers and they squeezed and crimped that brush end, spreading the bristles. If you look at the 2 small ones, these are pointed round brushes because the ferrule is round. Now if you were to squeeze these, they would turn out flat. Gives you a different design. You know when you go to the Hobby Lobby and there's like so many paintbrushes and you're like, why do you need so many? They each do something different. Okay, we're going to use this one here. We're going to come in. Now we don't want a puddle of water because then it's too much water, then the paint is just going to drip off the face. So I'm going to go ahead and take my brush. Pretend it's the winter time, there's a big pool and your friend dares you to get in and you're going to dip your toe in the water just to see if it's worth the dare. You're barely going to dip your toe. So the tip of the brush is what you're barely going to dip. So barely dip it in there. It is like hair. It will absorb the liquid. You don't got to jam it in there. So take a look at it. Let the reflection of the light hit the surface of the brush and look what the brush looks like. Dip it in one more time and turn around and look at it. It should be more wet, more shiny. You can wipe it on the inside corner of the brush one time and that should be enough water. When you look at it and it's real shiny and it's dripping, that's too much water. So we're going to go with the orange. So we're going to come in and we're going to put it down and swipe, swipe, swipe the orange on one side. You're going to pay attention to how much liquid is coming off of the brush and how much liquid is coming onto your bristles. And then you're going to flip the brush over and do the same thing on the other side. This is called loading your brush. Load, 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 flip, 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 swipe, swipe, swipe. We're going to come on our note page and we're going to do tap, 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 until I can tap no more. Why do I do this? This is to show me how much paint I actually picked up from my brush. I was able to do 2 lines. About the middle of the first line is when I started to get empty spots. And okay, I need to reload. So I'm going to flip my brush over on the other side and then I'm going to tap, tap, tap. And well, okay, there's a bunch of empty. There's still paint on there, but that's a no-go. Okay? That tells me I got to pick up more paint. Okay, let me pick up more paint. I go back to my paint and I wipe, wipe, wipe. Uh-oh, what do I feel? Hard. Like I'm dragging my brush. It's not smooth. It's not shiny. Like there's not enough water. Don't add more water, but you have to add more water. So I'm going to pretend I'm going to reload. And then I'm going to tap, tap, tap. And it did nothing because there's not enough water. So if you don't learn that the size of the brush, the amount of bristles are in your brush, that they all absorb different, you're not going to understand how you're loading your brush. So my husband's hair is short. I have longer hair. I'm going to absorb more water. He's going to absorb less water. Does that make sense? Okay, so each brush is the same. I cannot do exactly what I just did with the exact same water with this brush. It's not going to work. It's too wet. I can't do the exact same thing with this brush. It's going to be too dry. Okay? That's why you have to sit down and learn those things with your tools. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and clean my brush. I'm going to take, as I'm cleaning, my napkin, put my brush on my napkin, I'm going to fold it, and I'm going to squeeze it out. I'm going to bring it down, I'm going to fold it, and I'm going to squeeze it out. Now, if your bristles are coming out, you got cheap brushes. They didn't make it correctly. So I'm going to continue. They look like little, I don't know what they look like, the Halloween candy. I don't know what those are called. Candy corn, there you go. And I'm going to squeeze until I can squeeze no more. The point is, I want my water to stay as clear and clean as possible. Because if I would have just, like you do in art class, jam your brush in there, the water is like dirty on your first brush. I don't want that. So I'm going to get rid of as much paint as possible here until it comes off no more. Then I'm going to dip the toe barely to let it soak up some water. I don't want my water to get dirty. And then I'm going to brush, and look how much more paint is coming off. And I'm coming and I'm dipping my toe and I'm painting. And I'm painting all of my napkin. I don't go over previous spots because then I'm just picking up product, but I'm painting my napkin. The reason why I paint my napkin is because I want the paint to come off on the napkin, not in the water. And I use my napkin from left to right as I read. We don't do this. We don't do that. Grandma does that. Why are they paying you at that point, right? It's unprofessional. Your napkin stays nice and smooth, okay? Always keep a clean working area. If you are right-handed, your supplies are on your right-hand side. If you are left-handed, your supplies are on your left-hand side. Also, I forgot to give you more space. You can always put your box underneath your chair. That also is helpful for next time. All right, so then now that I've gotten rid of as much paint on my napkin, let's see. Take your cup. You're gonna dip the entire bristle and then swipe it. Wow, look how clean your water is. It's so satisfying because you don't feel like, wow, I gotta go change my water already because it's all gray and gross. It's still clear, and that's what you want. Because that mom that comes at your table and looks at your water and it looks dirty, she's not gonna pay you. I wouldn't. I'd be like, nope, that's dirty. How many faces has that touched? So I'm going to push my brush on the inside wall of the cup. I'm going to swipe on the inside corner. And then I'm going to come to my napkin. And I'm going to wipe until my napkin does not get colored. If my napkin is colored, it means my brush is dirty. Okay. So we're going to dip the toe, pick up some water, and then we're going to pick up yellow. Wipe on one side, flip it over, wipe on the other. Now let's find out how much yellow, how far I can get with this load of pigment. I'm going to load really good on both sides. I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to go across. Push my bristle down and go. Okay, I went about 2 inches, 2.5 inches before I started getting a gap. I'm going to flip my brush over and I'm going to go the opposite direction and back and forth. Okay, I can paint from right to left. This is about 8 inches or so. Or is this 5 inches? I can't remember. No, yeah, it's about 8 inches. Okay, with one load. So if I'm going to paint a circle sun on someone's face, I just got to load one time. If I'm going to paint a big bird on the whole face, one time is not going to be enough. Okay? This is not the same as if I use this big brush or this tiny brush because it's not the same. Same technique, but it's not going to be the same line, and you're not going to get the same amount of product. It's a different kind of brush. So now, I'm not going to clean my brush. I need more yellow. So I don't clean my brush. I don't want to get my water dirty. I need more yellow. What do I do? I'm going to dip the toe to absorb some water, just barely, not getting my water dirty, and I'm going to bring it back to my yellow and swipe to pick up more pigment. Swipe, pick up more pigment, and then I'm going to go ahead and I can stroke it back and forth to see how far I can get. Flip it over, stroke it back and forth to see how far I can get before I run out of paint, and also before my paint on my brush or my brush dries. Every brush will do something different. Look how much paint you were able to put on the paper with just 2 brush stroke times. Cool. So if you're doing a snake on a little kid, okay, depending on the size of the little kid's arm, 2 strokes is good. Okay. All right, let's clean our brush. We're going to take our napkin. We're going to fold over. Get as much of the color out as possible. Fold it over, pick up a little bit of water, and then paint the napkin. Miss, my napkin, okay, that's it. Like, it doesn't fit. That's okay. Look, the back side is clean. If you flip it, the inside is clean. So just flip it. And you can use that. Now at some point, it gets shot, right? And like there's no more you can do. So throw that napkin out and then get you a new one. And that's totally fine. You want to be gentle with your brushes. At points you can get rough, but just be gentle with them. Don't close your palette immediately like I just did. Why? Your paint is wet, okay? So you let them air dry. Once they're dry, you touch it and nothing comes out. I touched it, my orange didn't come out, but my yellow come out. That's how you know you can close it. So just leave it open for a little bit. Our water we're gonna put it to the side so we can dump it out in a minute. We're done with our brushes. Let's go ahead and turn the page. While you continue doing what you're doing, just lend me an ear. You can highlight as you go. It is super important for your tool or tool usage, tool knowledge, tool identification to understand your brushes. There is a variety of brushes that will render you different shapes and designs and lines. You have sponges, which we will further be using at a later time. Stencils that you're going to learn how to use, and you got them in your kit. Water spray bottles, super important. I'll show you, instead of putting water with your brush into your palette, you spray water on there or spray alcohol on it, depending on the kind of makeup. And that way you don't have like puddles going back and forth. The only bad part about that is that all your makeup gets wet. So, yeah, it just depends. And then a palette. Let me talk to you about your palette. So this is a palette. You can pull the little squares out of your palette and you have one individual mini palette. You have a plastic one of these palettes in your kit. Those are great, but when you want to like really clean them or paint, it's kind of will ruin. These you can buy at Hobby Lobby. That's like $2 or something. And they're metal, so you can disinfect these, put these in the washer or dishwasher. These here are more professional, so like a paint palette. And this one is a cool acrylic one that I messed up with acrylic paint. So always know how to use your stuff, so that way you don't have them all gross and dirty and all that. Okay? We'll go through all the different things as we go along through the week, but let's go ahead and move on to our next page. It is important that you do have a collection of different tools. Nail techs, makeup artists, oh my gosh, Ramirez. I have an obsession with brushes. I will see a brush and just buy it because it's a brush. I know I have a problem. But brushes. The more brushes you have, the less you've got to do all the cleaning while you're doing something, and the more opportunities of different designs you have, because every brush does something different. Okay, different color brushes, different kinds of bristles, different feels and sizes in your hand. They're all different. But a brush anatomy is all pretty much the same. So let's go over that. We're going to put this brush here. All right, the toe of the brush, okay, is the tip edge. It's like when you're going to dip your toe in the pool to see if it's cold. This is the tip edge, okay? Sometimes those are used for creating lines, for touching up and detailing, or creating your little stars, okay? Depending on the brush, if it's wide or long or oval or pointy, it depends if you can use it for certain things or not. The belly of the brush is going to be on the sides or in the middle on the top or bottom of your brush. That's the belly. It's like the belly of your torso or in your body. It's in the middle. That is what absorbs the most amount of paint, okay? Your heel is this here. The heel is in between the metal part and the bristles. You'll see later a video of how brushes are made, but they put the fibers in this straw. This metal part starts as a straw. Then they pinch it with glue inside and the bristles stick, okay? The bristles will come in a different variety of shapes and different types of fibers. The crimp is what holds it together. The ferrule is the metal part. So there's a crimp here and a crimp here. Your handle, for the most part, is going to be wood. There are different kinds of handles, but wooden is the most popular. Okay? Questions. Because we didn't use it a lot, it shouldn't be too wet, so it's okay if you close your palette and put that in your bag with your brushes. You can leave the water on your table for the next group to trade out. And you may go ahead and get ready to get going. Hey neighbor, I will take our smocks. Hey neighbor, I will take our folders. Hey neighbor, let's help each other. Hey, on a section, okay, between 4 of us, I'll take everybody's box. I'll take everybody's folder. Help each other. Put music on, let you be.